I tell you what, I love acronyms, and most local ecumenical partnerships try and come up with names. But I tell you what, if you're in the Painswick and Stroud area local ministries, then you've got it made, because your acronym is SARMS. So Tim, who I know very well, and Ruth worked for SARMS at a point. Do you want to just say a little bit about SARMS before we move on to Norwich?
So SARMS, a guy called Ian Marsh and a few other people got together, John LH is over there, got together and they met and they said, what are people passionate about? And they realised that young people were really passionate about sport, and there weren't many young people in the churches, so they set up, I think with the help of CIS and a few other people, set up SARMS, which is a great acronym, but it's really awkward if you're working with non-Christians who call it PSALMS and things like that.
PSARM, yes.
Yeah.
So, and what does SARMS actually do? How does that operate?
So when I worked for them for 5.5 years, I finished 2 years ago, and I was given a blank sheet of paper, and Tim and his wife Kirsten had done some amazing work previously, and then myself and a few others, Andy Harding and some other people, were given the job, and we were given a blank sheet of paper to work in some communities. And so the community that I was working in had 2 really old-fashioned churches at the bottom of the hill, and then at the top of the hill was a reasonably rough estate where Forest Green Rovers Football Club is, and no church impact at all there. So I was like, okay, let's try and reach out to this community. So we went and knocked on the door of a primary school, and they were really well receiving of us going in there. And so we went in there, got to know some people, and hung out on the local estate at the multi-use games area, and used volunteers from the church. So my favourite volunteer was a guy called Bernard, who's 83 years old, and bought himself a hoodie and a basketball, and turned up with me, and we decided that we were going to pray for these young people, and we did every Thursday with a few old people, prayed together, and then we went and hung out at this multi-use games area in the school, and various other things that we did, and we saw God do amazing stuff.
Okay, and then so St Thomas's Norwich, which is HDB Plant.
It's an HTB partner.
Partner,
I think it's a bit different.
Okay.
I don't know the difference, but...
No, nor do I. Sorry, Nikki. Anyway, so then you're now sports minister there.
Yeah.
So how did they decide we need sports minister, and what are you actually doing?
Good question. So I knew the vicar, a guy called Ian Dybel, who used to be a curate at HTB. I'd just finished working for Scripture Union for 4 months doing some research for them, and went and spent an afternoon with Ian Dybel, and at the end he went, we've got no money, but why don't you come and work for us doing sports ministry? And him and Dave, who's here as well, said, why don't you come and work for us? And so that's kind of how it happened.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
In April last year was when I was employed with them. And so again, a blank sheet of paper with vicars who are just saying yes to everything, and we're just exploring what does it look like to do sport in and through a local church, and starting from scratch, what does it look like? So at the moment we've set up a sports academy where we're training up people within the church to become qualified sports coaches and learning to do sports ministry. We're going to a local school which we just started hanging out there on a Friday, but now they're asking us to do RE lessons and assemblies. I live on an estate in a vicarage, but quite a rough estate. So a couple of months ago, I was driving back from the Rugby World Cup, and I couldn't get in because there was a police raid, and couldn't get into my house at about 1 a.m, which was quite fun. So we're looking at how we can do a sports missional community in that place, and those sort of things.